Guys, welcome to episode 50 of Tuesday Tips. We have now hit, it's actually like the 53rd episode, but it is episode number 50. So today we got 7x7 walkthrough solves. This is going to be the last set of walkthrough solves, and starting next week we're going to be doing some solve analysis for myself, then probably some solve analysis from guests, and that's probably going to round out all of Tuesday Tips. I have a couple more random stuff, but we're probably going to end around between 55 and 60 total episodes, so it's been a long journey. We finally made it. So here we go. 7x7 walkthrough solves. We got the first look at the black haze cube that I used. Finally got a magnetic black one. I just didn't have one before. So here we go. We're going to take a look here. First thing we see is we got red. It's pretty nice. Right here, this is going to make a bar real quick. We got two 3x1s. Actually, okay, never mind. We're not going to do it on black. I don't like black. We're going to restart. All right, we got yellow. I just like our recognition's bad. So we're going to start on this one. So this one, it's pretty obvious what the easiest case here is. Actually, there's some tricky stuff we might be able to do here. But we can see right here, we got 3x1 yellow. So we got 2 move first middle bar. That's really nice. Definitely something we want to be looking out for. And then what's next is we got this 2x2 right here, and we got this 2x1. What we're probably going to see is I noticed immediately that this can make this kind of pattern right here. And then I probably would just go ahead and go for this. And then in this case, I would have done this blind and then transitioned into here, because I would have known for sure that these two pieces over here made this. And now I'm sitting here. I wouldn't have known this middle piece is going to be here. So let's move this down. It makes it better. I wouldn't have known this middle piece is going to be here, but I would have known I had these 2x2s, and then I would have just had to finish up here. So this is a pretty complicated first 3 bars in this case, but it's probably what I would have done. It's not too crazy. It's actually pretty advanced, but and these two, I'll see these two, match these up. Then match them with these two, and then this is the last piece. I already noticed I had these two. I don't want to put them on top here, so I'm just gonna do a quick U2. Now work on the last bar. This is empty now. Pretty standard last bar. In this case, I probably wouldn't bother saving anything. It was just a 2x2, which is not the easiest thing to work with on 7. Then we have build the middle bar first. Middle bar, I noticed that these two were like already made, so I'm going to go for middle for sure, because middle is always the best, and if it's like even remotely the easiest, always go for middle. We have these two pieces on top, so we can pull them out and start building this next bar. Pretty easy next bar, standard stuff. Here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out. So right here, we got 2 pieces on each side we can pull out. You always want to pull out. Corner pieces are not as important to pull out as the middle pieces, so we're going to pull out these 2 pieces over here as opposed to these 2 corners. We left these 2 corners up. That's honestly pretty fine. What we're going to do next, we're just going to go ahead and make the outer bar. And then obviously you pull out these 2 as opposed to this one, because this is one edge in a corner versus just a corner. Pretty standard. Make these 2. Make the next bar. Pull out this edge. Also, you'd always do this, because to save it, you'd have to do a slice. So why would you do a slice? So do like that. Notice right here, so we can do this first, but then that's going to force us to slice in both of these pieces. If we put these 2 pieces in like that, it might not have been the best because we had to do rotation, but at the very least, we could have then had the option to not slice versus slice afterwards. So here we don't have the greatest. I don't know if... First thing I see is I can go like this. Wow, okay, that was pretty lucky. So if I had done that, like, I wouldn't have seen that. The first thing I thought is go like this. And then you get these 2 2x1s right here. I might do that in a solve. We're just going to go ahead and assume like I did. This piece goes right here. And then next, the last spot, this corner, and this edge right here. Boom, 2x4, or 2x5. Then we're going to go ahead and finish with the middle bar. Actually, wait, we're not. In this case, so this is a pretty rare case. Normally, we'd always go ahead and finish up the middle bar, because if we start building outer piece, like 2 bars on the left and the ones on the right, it gets kind of hairy, but this is a very one-move bar, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. Then we're going to finish the middle bar, knowing that we only have these 2 pieces as freedom. So, and again, since we did the outer pieces first, this is the only piece that matches here. There's no other option, so kind of a lot of moves, but that's how it goes sometimes. Notice in this tricky case, we can do, instead of solving this piece and then solving this piece, we can go then finish the bar here. This is pretty normal. probably going to go for this bar first because it's easy, along with... So in this case, say you had this, you still wouldn't want to go directly down like this because that breaks up this two pieces you have. You want to go like this, and it will maintain these two, which is really nice because then when you build these two together, it's a very quick insert to finish your second bar. Then pretty standard finish, we're going to make this bar. Then we got... So here we're going to make 4 out of here, and then right here, it's important. Well, I guess this is I don't know if it's tricky or not. It's just a standard thing. It's just go like this to move it down, and then we get to do slices, which is unfortunate. But again, we're going to have to do a slice here, which is also unfortunate, but it's okay. Pretty obvious last bar. Nothing fancy there at all. Here, this isn't the greatest case. Actually, this is a pretty awful case. This is actually garbage. I don't even see a direct 2 bars. I'd go for this middle bar right here first, and then this is also terrible, but make these 3 by 1 on the left, and then finish off. Then do the middle bar. This is a garbage case. So here, I'd move these 2 pieces up, and then, so if I had, so like since both were, there's 3 of these outer middles, 1, 2, 3, and you need 2 of them. So you know that you're gonna have to use one of these 2. So I move these 2 pieces up, which is fine because then I can do that to make the last one. Then finish off the next middle bar. So in this case, this is a pretty obvious case. You can either do this, which will break that up, or you can just go like this, keep them together. So I got lucky at the end with no commutator, but that's not too bad. So then we're moving on to edge pairing, red and yellow. So right here, what I saw was I was either looking for blue and yellow or red and yellow. I saw red and yellow first, but red and yellow full edge there. Now we see this blue and yellow is going to line up nicely. Oh, we found 2 blue and yellows, the 2 blue and yellows from earlier. And wow, blue and yellow right here. That's actually pretty easy. In this case, I might also just go ahead and move these 2 apart just to see what happens. But we're going to notice that that's not necessary, as red and white is going to be next. Rotate, red and white. Here, we remember from earlier that we have this red and white piece in the back, so we're going to do a wide, and then another, then insert like that. Red and white right here. So this is something Felix actually told me the other day that I should be doing. I could do a rotation like this, and then insert over here, or I could just go like this, and then no rotation, and then go like that. Definitely do that. I don't do that in sols, but I'm just going to show you the better way to do it. Blue and white right here. And then we notice there's no blue and whites on top, so we're just going to go ahead and do the rotation straight ahead. Back insert, we can insert like F, or we can just do a back insert for this blue and white. Same with this insert, back insert from the back, because now it's like a back insert. Back insert, in my words, means inserting to the back. From the back means from the back spot on top, so back insert up here. Then we see green and orange. We also see blue and red. I don't know what we probably would have seen in the solve. Blue and red is definitely better because we got this blue and red right here. In this case, so actually this is a pretty interesting case. So in this case, we have, we want both on top. So you have these 2 blue and red ones right here, right? And we have this blue and red one back here. And we don't really know which way we need to insert this blue and red one to line it up. And looking and figuring it out might take a little bit of time, but we already notice how these 2 are already flipped. So in this case, I don't know if this is actually the best idea, but we're going to have to do a flip no matter what to solve this edge. So I'll just insert these and just see what happens. It doesn't really matter because, okay, now they're not correct. It's not a big deal. Now we can flip these and they'll all be correct. If they were correct over here, actually that would have been impossible, but either way, there would have been 1 flip needed. Maybe it might have been a couple extra moves, but it would have been 0 recognition because I didn't need to know which way was correct. I just inserted it and then I can deal with the flip later. Blue and orange on this side. So right here. And then blue and orange, the last one's over here. Noticing we got this orange and yellow, which will match up with this orange and yellow. Boom. Looking for the last orange and yellow. So now we see we actually have equal case. Even though we started orange and yellow, remember though, since they're the same here, it doesn't matter which one we go for. We're going for orange and green or orange and yellow. Orange and yellow does end up being easier here, so we're just going to finish that off. And now we can remember that we have this blue and orange, or blue and green and orange that we're doing next. So green and orange, and the last green and orange piece right here. And then fix everything up. Now this is the clear, obvious first choice. We already have the 2 middles done. So we're going to treat this like a 5x5 edge. We probably just go ahead and finish this one. That wasn't ideal. We did slice to slice for one piece, but that's what I probably would do in a solve. This is a clear cycle setup, so we have these three solved, and we're going to want to solve the full middles on this one here because that's just the easiest way to kind of get things going. So we're going to do a cycle setup here because we had to flip this one and pull the back one out. So I did that algo I showed you before last week. Cycle setup. This is going to give us a parity case, unfortunately. Nothing you can do there. Notice we did a smart cycle to make sure we didn't get an M flip parity. We got one of these parity cases on middle sur 5, which is much faster. Then I'm just going to do a quick cycle to finish off this, and maybe I'll get a case. I recognize I do not, so we're just going to go ahead and do both parity algs. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I was pretty sure that was double parity there, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I didn't like throw caution in the wind and just guess, is what I was saying. Huh. Alright, so let's see solve number 2. Oh, I already had another one scrambled here. Totally forgot. Alright, here we go. Let's do solve number 2. We'll do 3 of these. That's 10 minutes. These are pretty in-depth, so. Solve number 2, let's take a look. Things that jump out at me pretty quickly, orange and green. Orange has got 4, so anytime you almost have the middle bar done, pretty nice. Green is 3, and these couple of these pieces hanging out over here. Orange looks probably the best because it's not as good as I hoped, but... Oh, wait, never mind. So orange is definitely the best here because this middle piece right here will match up there for the bar, and then this piece right here, so in 2 moves, full bar and an almost bar. And we would have known this was here. So we got a pretty easy blind 2 bars on orange. No big deal. This is a pretty okay. It's like obvious. It's very obvious what bar you're making, but it will require some slices. In this case, we got lucky, canceled a slice. Not the greatest because of the slices, but it's okay. Set up the same exact thing here, so we're going to have to do a couple more slices, which is unfortunate, but we're just going to do them because that's what we saw. Looking for the next piece right there. Then we see this right here. That's probably going to be our start for the red center. There's that, preserved that, and then finish off the orange center. Right here, we're just going to go ahead and do matchup 4 on top. We notice this one's right here. We're going to finish off the middle center, which is nice. So now we got the middle center done, which is, like I mentioned before, is always the best. Here we got kind of the case where 2 pieces right here. Move this one out of the way. Boom. Then this piece goes here. Now what we're going to do is we want to pull out this piece right here because, like I said, corner pieces are last in priority to remove. And then the outer pieces are the second last, and then the middle pieces. So since we got this middle piece here, we're going to want to pull that one out first. Go ahead and make the last middle bar. That was actually pretty lucky. Now we're going to pull out these 3. This is very good extraction. We got all 3 of these on the left. And then this is just a pretty standard build. In this case right here, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of cancel this. We're going to pull out both corners. You don't have to pull out both corners. You can leave one in and then solve the last bar with the corner, which is not too hard, but it's pretty easy to just go and have both corners pulled out real quick. And this is just 3 slices to finish up your bar, which is crappy, but, you know, whatever. Nothing too much to be done there. This is a terrible start. Actually, it's not too bad. It just I didn't see it that quickly. So we got a very quick first white bar, set us up to the next white bar, and then we got 2 white bars. So in this case, we can either do this or we can do this. Same thing, we're still going to have this centerpiece right here. Doesn't really matter in this case. We're going to now finish. We're definitely going for this middle bar here. If we went for either of these 2, they should be already done. Well, this one, there's no reason to because it's the same bar. Going for the outer one here is incredibly ridiculous, and it would have to be like already made for you to want to save it. Here, we're going to go ahead and just do this. Actually, this is a pretty unique case. So, what we're going to do here is, we see that we have this full green bar here, so we're going to save that. And then we can make this other outer green bar really quickly right here. I don't know if I really would have done that, though. Yeah, because it doesn't really save it. I don't really know if that's worth it. You could do half centers from here and like, then that might be worth it because now it's easy to save and there's no white pieces muddled up in this green side. So I don't think I would have done that in a solve. I definitely would have saved that middle green bar in a solve though. So that's pretty easy save because there were no moves required. So I'm looking at these 3 pieces. Actually, these 4 pieces will make the 4 outer pieces of this bar. Boom. Last piece down here. This piece, we're just going to go like this. And then we're going to see what we have here to see kind of how we're going to do it. But we have, that's up there. So this is pretty standard. Finish off the white bar. Finish off the green next bar. Just kind of go inside out unless there's something really easy. And then finish off the last bar. Nothing fancy here. Do the last bar. That was not very good, but this is unfortunate because in this case, as you see, we're forced to do a slice move no matter what in this case because we're going to have to get 2 of these middles, close middles apart from each other, so we go like that. Or if we went like this, we still have to do the exact same thing with a slice move. So that just kind of sucks. Bad case, but... And now here, ooh, I feel like there's some way to do this better, but we're just going to make the middle bar and then the outer bar. There's definitely a better way to do it, but 2 commutators there, not the greatest. That's why I was saying if we had a smarter way, you probably could have saved the commutators. Orange and white's the clear option. They're all already lined up. Boom. Orange and white, yellow and white next. So in this case, it doesn't matter which one you do first, really. But I noticed that if I enter this one first, it's RUR prime, or it's 2-gen very easily. Whereas if I did this, it would then flip this one, which would then force this one to also be a worse flip. So we're just going to do this one first, and that one. Flip, flip. Boom. Now we got a couple options. We got blue and white. We got red and white. We got green and red. In a real solve, impossible to tell what I'm going to see. Blue and white's the best option here, which I saw after a little more inspection, because they're all already in this layer, so 1 flip required. Blue and yellow is pretty obvious here next, though. Boom. Right here. Then we got red and white's very obvious. So we got 4, everything's at the middle, so now we're going to be looking for the middle. This is one of those cases where, as I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you're going to do the flip. Because, like in this case, we're going to do a flip no matter what. Because you see, these aren't lined up properly. These are flipped. And so in this case, you're like, oh, I can insert this however I want. But in this case, I wouldn't really recommend it. It just seems like this is already in a flip state. Like we could just do the flip here. And so if you insert it like this, and then to do the flip, I guess you could flip this one. I guess it wouldn't really matter, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I would just do it like this. You're going to have to do 1 flip no matter what. Not a big deal. Notice green and white right here. These 2 are flipped in relation to these 2, or one of them is flipped. So we're going to do green and white. Look for green and white next. Green and white, so we know the last one's right here, flipped. All right, now last green and white piece right here. We're going to look for red and green. We don't see any. We might skip this one. We probably wouldn't. I don't know if I'd skip it in the solve, but maybe I'd skip it. Maybe we go green and yellow right here, which is much better. Match up these, and now in this case, actually this is a common case, so we're gonna flip. We gotta flip one of these, but we also gotta insert this one right here. So we can cancel this pretty easily. We can pull out this one while inserting that one, and then it's the same thing as the flip. We put it out, and we took it back. We took it out, and we put it back in just in the opposite way. But now we canceled the flip, and it's like we never even did the flip. Red and yellow is obviously next. In this specific case now, so you might notice like, oh, just do the red and yellow right here. But I know I can preserve, I would only preserve this because this is my 8th edge. I can hold on to this piece right here by doing this. And I would only preserve it because it's my 8th edge and because these are already lined up and I know they're going to stay like this. Then I can just go ahead and with 0 effort, I can just go ahead and preserve these 2. Which might help out, it might not, in making the next, making the last 4 edges easier. In this case, it does. So we see here is we can do a slice, flip, slice. That will solve these 4 pieces and will get us in a good spot for this one. We can, we're going to switch to cycles because we see this is a good cycle case. We're going to pull out this back edge at the same time. Unfortunately, what we're looking for is when we do a smart cycle back, we're going to want our red and green edge right here. So we're going to pull out this one also, smart cycle. And now we're left right here with this green and red edge flipped. So what we're going to do here is now we're going to do a slice up slice because we're going to slice this one in, and at the same time we're going to flip this one in place. So we solved 2 pieces with that, which is okay. In this case, this is a no. This is a parity. I think this is a parity case. Well, this is obviously an inner parity case. I'm not 100% sure on the outer case we're going to get, though, is the only problem. It's a parity case. See, I'm like not very good at those recognized. That's what I was saying. In the future, I think people will be able to will learn them and know which ones are which I think will definitely be helpful. All right. Oops. Don't do that. That'd be okay, whatever. Got DNF. I wasn't paying attention, but it's not a big deal. All right, we'll do one more. Let's probably put a logo on this one. I got a logo on this one. The logo actually looks slick on the cube. All right. Solve. Wow. Okay. So this is actually I'll go over real quick. So this is actually probably a big misconception that getting a full bar on 7x7. First of all, A, it's not uncommon, and B, it's not even necessarily better than a lot of different center starts. In this case in particular, this is a very, very easy. It's a pretty easy 7x7 start. But just because if you have a full bar and nothing else, it's honestly not that great. It's not that easy. Because you judge your 7x7 center start by how fast you can essentially make 2 bars for sure, and if it's easy, how fast you can make 2, and how easy the 3rd bar is going to be. So this case is easy because when you get a full bar, it probably means a 2nd bar. At worst, getting 2 bars is going to be pretty quick, but there are plenty of cases that are way easier that don't have a full bar done. Anyways, this case, we're just going to do quick. We see the full white bar. We see a couple white blocks. Just do a real quick 1 second scan to make sure there's nothing crazy. Green is easy, but green and blue are easy, but nothing like white. So white's obvious. Full white bar on the white center. We see a couple things immediately. So the first thing I want to notice is this right here. 2x1 is going to match up with this 2x1 like this. That's going to make almost another complete bar. So the first thing I'm going to see actually in this position is now I see a full white bar, so I know it's going to be pretty easy, most likely. I'm now planning 3 bars. And not completely blind, but I'm now looking for 3 bars. We're not stopping at 2. We know we have plenty of time. Luckily in this case, we can get 3 actually blind almost. So this is actually really easy. So first things first, we see this. Well, we saw that. So we keep that in mind. We got these 3 pieces right here matching with this one and this one right here. So boom, that'll make a full bar right there. Now we're going to ignore this piece right here. So this is going to make our first bar. And we're going to then leave this bar here. We're then going to make this 1x4, which if we notice correctly will then pair with this edge right here, or wing or oblique right here, which will stay in place after we finish this bar. So here's what we're going to do. So we're going to do this. We'd start the solve. How do we start the solve? So we can make this entire bar and insert it without disrupting this. So we'd probably do that first. So here's how we're going to start the solve. Always start the solve like this, because if you start it if you go like this, I mean, that's just extra inserts or slices for no reason. So we're going to go like this. Boom. Insert. 3 bars. That would have been maybe not 100% blind, but that would have been really snappy. There would have been there would have been 0 pause in that. Now this is just pure luck. See this right here? We're just going to go ahead and save this because right now we see that now after we did these first 2 moves to pair up this 2x1, there are now no more white pieces, no more white pieces on the yellow face. So very easy to save this, especially when we're going to do this insert anyways. It essentially only requires 1 extra set of moves to save it, which is when we insert this bar, we said to insert it in a saving method. Wow, holy crap. This is ridiculous. We're just going to go ahead and match up this bar, 3 moves, easy to save. Notice how right here, we don't know what orientation we're in. We could be here and we wouldn't have to do anything extra to save it. We're just going to go ahead and insert like this instead of going like that, just because we want to make sure we save it. So we know we have this here, finish off middle bar. We know we got this here, finish off this bar. In this case, you might say wow, why am I doing this wide move? We want to save this corner. Honestly, saving this corner means almost nothing, and it's not going to be worth it. I know I can pull it out later or something, and I'm not going to bother saving that now because corners a lot of times don't even slow you down to be in the top layer, and slices are awful. So finish off our outer bar. Now in this case, we can pull out the corner, or we can pull out this piece right here. We're going to do that. We're making the middle bar next. Finish off with that. And now look, we pulled out the corner with no extra moves. Working on our last bar, obviously. Now what we see here is we got a couple of options that are actually both fairly nice. Wow, this is actually like the options on this. The stars and the solve are like falling into place very nicely. So the first thing I see, obviously 4x1. These make a 4-piece right here. This can be solved almost with no effort at any time. The pieces will often just line up, so we're going to go ahead and do this one first. You need to notice this piece matches right there, so boom. Now notice, oh, the corner disappeared. We're just going to finish that off real quick. Very easy. Green is also easy, but you can't do green next no matter what, so. In this case, we're going to go for middle, obviously, because it's really weird to not do middle next when you got these two on left. This isn't that easy enough. Like, this pairs into 4, but it's not that easy. So we're just going to go ahead and finish off middle. Oops, I'm meant to do that. Boom. This is a really unfortunate case because it requires a lot of slicing to finish off our next bar, which we're going to go for this next one. You'd only go for the outer bar, which is really easy, which it's not. So slice, 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 just a lot of slices. Very unfortunate. Oh, God. Could you think about going crazy on this? Nah, I won't go crazy here. Now we're just going to do standard last bar pairing. Nothing too fancy. All right, last bar is done. See here first is, you might see this one right here, or you can pair something like that. That would actually work pretty nicely, but if you did this, as I'm saying, this would work nicely because it's a quick bar and it leads well into making the next middle bar. But the thing is, it's not obvious from my point of view right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do is make the easy middle bar I see right here. And then I'm going to make the easy outer bar. And I could have seen, I knew both of those were going to be easy straight from the get-go. And the other way would have worked, but I didn't know 100% chance it was going to be easy. Now we're going to make the next outer bar. That was kind of dumb, but it worked out. And then we're making our, or not the outer, that was the inner bar. Now we're making an outer bar. This is pretty nice. Nothing too crazy, but pretty much this bar is already done. So I'm gonna make this outer bar here, and then this is a pretty standard case. 3 across. These two just match up right there. Boom. Right here, we're gonna see. We want to make sure again. Do not do like you could do a double slice, so like that, and now you're in the right position. There's no reason to do that. Just move these over here. Do a wide move to the first one. And then boom. I also knew that these two were going to line up, but we got more lined up. In this case, there's 2 things you can do here. So the best way, if you can execute it properly, which is not very hard, is to just go insert real quick like this and then do a double commutator. You could also do this, which is more moves, and then do a single commutator, which is easier, but this is definitely faster. If you're in this position, insert, double commutator real quick. Boom. So, next, green and orange, wow, okay. Green and red is obviously really easy. 2 right there. Green and orange, we're just gonna keep an eye out because we saw it being easy. We're looking for our next green and red right here. Again, so now in this case, just talking about stuff like green and orange is now not what we're going for next. It's on the bottom. There's definitely something easy, but we know green and orange is on the bottom. So when we get back around to it, we're gonna think about it. So blue and white, blue and white. Now we're flipping to green and orange, or to the other side. Now green and orange is back in play. All right, we see this green and orange right here. Where's green and orange from before? Right there. Boom. Green and orange. Flipping around again. Right there. Boom. Now we're looking for blue and yellow. Probably definitely the easiest one. Unfortunately, kind of lead us into an awkward, not that awkward, but to get 4. A lot of Y2s in this one. Next I see probably red and white. 2 right here and this one back here. So in this case, it's important. Again, I would definitely highly recommend do not flip and insert this red and white one. There's no reason to do that. You have 2 more pieces you're going to insert. You're going to either need to do another flip or you could cancel it just like I did right here. I see blue and orange right here. Going to make sure we take out this blue and orange to solve this because now I can't, because notice how these need to be flipped. So we're going to take this out, insert it the other way. Actually, in this case, also what we do is we see that these 2 are correct, and we can either do a U-wide or a U-wide 3. We're just going to do U-wide 3 just to see what happens. Wow, these got matched up real nicely. Now, we're going to preserve these 3. Luckily, we don't have to take them out to do that. They are already going to get preserved because these 3 are matching and these 3 are matching Very lucky right here. I don't know how lucky that is, but it's very nice. Finish off this. Notice the last blue and red right here. Blue and red right here. In this case, we can insert either way because we're going to do this flip, and it's not any harder. Inserting like this doesn't save us really anything. We can just go like this, flip here. That's very easy anyways. So boom, orange and white. Wow, that was actually a missed turn, and it just ended up having the right piece. Wow, that was very, very lucky. The other orange and white pieces happened to be in the right layer, and then finish off, slice back. The thing I see first here is red and yellow looks almost done. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I'd probably go red and yellow first. Orange and yellow is nice. Blue and yellow, or green and yellow looks okay, but red and yellow first. So there's a couple things you can do here. So the ideal scenario, in my opinion, is you do MU2 M prime to solve these two, because then that will, when you move this back, will lead this into a cycle setup. I don't know if I do this in a solve, because now this cycles to here, and now we have the option to do a smart cycle. In this case, it's actually pretty nice, because if you see, we're going to force a double parity case, but the thing is, forcing a pure double parity case on blue or green and white eventually isn't that bad, because we might get double parity anyways. We're going to have to do it. So we're going to do a smart cycle here, and then because we're going to join up blue or green and white. So now we have 3 green and whites joined, and now we're going to pull this out, do another cycle. Now we have all green and whites joined, and maybe we'll just kind of see what happens. And now we got another parity case here. Since we got a parity case here, we're just going to solve it. Wait, we didn't have a parity case. Wow, I'm an idiot. We didn't have a parity case. We didn't have a parity at all in the last 2. So now we just have this double pure parity case, which you might be like, wow, that's a terrible case to have. But that's pretty unlucky that we got that. And it's not really that bad because we spent almost no time solving that edge because of our smart cycles. PLS skip. Alright, and that was walkthrough solves. That's the end of walkthrough solves. Next week, 5x5 solve analysis of my own, and yep.